And if someone's throwing bombs, then we're going to throw our own intellectual bombs. And that's how it's going to be. And like I say, look, it makes them upset. I understand. If I was on the other side and I saw someone like me, and someone like Ali Dawa, and someone like Brother Haji, of course. Yeah. Someone like Brother Haji is Pitbull. They call him the Pitbull. Oh, sorry. See, look, he's such a Pitbull that fell. No. The Pitbull.
There's other speakers missing here.
Mansour, Hashim. These are the OGs. These are the
non-Muslims as well.
The triple OG.
Pavlov. Pavlov.
These are my favorite speakers. Jedi, what's his name?
Respect. Yeah, Respect is our guy. Oh, they're around, bro. Yeah, they're still very active.
You know we're good speakers. End of the day, go away.
Brother, look, come here.
When he was speaking,
Come here.
he was calling him a bully.
No, he's like, come. How are you, bro?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you, man? I'm all right, you know.
How's your
we've been locked down a week. It's all right, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've been coming to Speaker's Corner?
Of course, that's what I do.
Yes, it's nice, man. You've been coming for long. You've been a regular, haven't you?
I sure have. It's a good place, isn't it?
In a sense, we've been kind of like neighbours, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I always come in, see what you come in and say about.
Yes.
You had a little debate with Cosmic Skeptic, didn't you?
Some time ago, yes.
That went a bit wrong, didn't it?
Well, it depends on which side you're on. Is it?
Cosmic Skeptic's side.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure you would be, right?
You've always got all the cameras, didn't you?
I don't know, bro. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I think because you're the most good speaker here.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
He's
I
pretty good.
reject it.
You are pretty good.
Now you're giving me something.
No,
yeah?
I mean, there is a difference. Like, Heiko's another good speaker, isn't he?
He's social to go up.
Who, me? I'll leave if you like.
No.
Get called out like this.
Don't leave. Listen, what I think we should do, okay, is away from the publicity. No, don't apologize. No, it's fine, honestly. Away from the publicity. Well, maybe one day we'll get something to eat, me and you.
Vegan, of course.
Are you vegan?
Yes, mate. Animal abuse is not right. I hope everyone agrees.
All right, no problem.
If I brought a cow here, murdered it, I hope everyone would say, that's pretty wrong.
Yes,
but yet we all do it, don't we?
Yes.
So, anyone got an answer for why we do it?
Yeah.
We're hungry.
Because we're hungry. So we're allowed to do what we like because we're hungry. Do we agree with that?
Sorry, bro. Question is,
Got it. I'm on it.
What an
Are you on a
example.
Peter Singer
What an
flex?
example.
you called him a bully. I actually want to understand why would you call him a bully?
Because we talked before, didn't we? Remember over there? And I was on like a big scientific bend. And you were like, I got these 3 questions for you. And
Me?
they were, yeah.
Well, you had it for me.
No, you had 3 questions for me. Yeah, and they were long questions. And I was trying to take on all the information, but I just couldn't. Does that count?
But you know, have you heard of Peter Singer?
Of course, mate. The expanded circle, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. But you know, recently I'm not sure if this was recent, but I recently saw it. He's on
Animal liberation as well.
Yeah, animal liberation. But
Yeah.
the point that what I read, which I found very disturbing, was that he was talking about.
I just want to get to the point why was he calling him a bully?
He was. I think it was. I'm not going to misquote him, but either it was about infants,
Yeah.
like deformed infants,
Yeah.
and he was saying basically killing them.
Yeah. See, when it gets a bit like in that level.
Yeah.
It's a bit
no,
nuanced,
but that's
isn't it?
that's
It's a
the
bit
point.
nuanced.
No, it's not nuanced. He's actually being
Come
very.
on.
He's being very consistent. Let me tell you why, right?
Yeah, but this is going to get far too.
No.
morally-
You're the one coming in. We're talking about.
I didn't come in. I got called to the stage.
No. Now you're in, right?
Now I'm in.
Now you're
Now
in.
I'm in.
And what I'm saying to you is this. What's your name again, bro? Sorry.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Muhammed Hijab, isn't
Yes,
it?
absolutely. Look, what I was going to say to you is this. Yeah. This is what this kind of logic leads you down.
I
right?
know.
Right. So do you know the point that you just asked? That right? Okay, why is it wrong to kill a cow?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now I understand why you're coming to that conclusion, right? Because okay, why isn't it? What value judgment are we using to differentiate human life from animal life?
Yeah.
For example, right?
Yeah.
Or even plant life from animal life. I don't know how long.
I hate that question, but sure.
Yeah. Let's go for it. Yeah. The point is, it leads to this kind of conclusion that Peter Singer came to,
but-
which is that putting down infants that are deformed
I know. Yeah.
is
I know.
is as you know.
Yeah, but that could be true of any like philosophical like framework. You carry it so far and you like collect the rewards that are close by, but as you like keep pushing it further and further, the extremities are going to become a bit peculiar.
Okay,
And that's why I mean it's nuanced to work out. Okay, we take it this far, we don't let it go that far.
I understand
On this case,
Yeah,
we take
yeah.
we have a different value.
We'll come and answer that. Paradise, yeah. But before that, what I want to say is this: is that human exceptionalism, right? The fact that human beings have more life intrinsically to other animal.
But who agrees that?
No. We would say that. We would
Well,
postulate.
maybe not me.
Yeah, I understand, of course. But what I'm saying is that there seems to be in morality, in law, in
Yes, yeah.
there seems to be some kind of an agreement of that in most cases,
yeah,
right?
of course.
Obviously, totalitarians are not going to say the same thing, right? But Peter Singer might not the same thing. The point I'm saying is at the end of the day, is that the reason why we exceptionalize human beings is really simple.
In-group bias.
No, we do it because of not divine command theory, but we believe that God has specialized human being.
You know, I think that's all bollocks, though, don't you?
Yeah, I understand. Of course, from your perspective, I'm saying you're right.
Yeah.
From your perspective, I tell you this: what you're saying is actually completely true.
I try to.
Yeah, no. In the sense that there's no difference between hacking a snowman and hacking a little child.
No, who says that? If that's not me, no way. That's straw. That's straw man.
Tell me
all
why
over.
it's not. Why is there a difference?
Because
why
there's
is the
some sort of
child?
sentient conscious to the child.
But who says that having a
Me,
sentient?
we can sort of look at. Oh, go on, sorry.
No. How would you prove that the
You
child
know,
has
you
it?
You just sort of like generally do it. Look, it sort of comes away through. It doesn't want pain. It looks like it's sentient. It looks like it's conscious. We may as well
So
just
is that the principle then? If it's living, is that what it is? If it's living or not?
That's one of the value judgments that we can go forward quite a
Well,
far
like, if
away.
it's living or not?
No, if it's got like consciousness. And
Consciousness?
sentience. Yeah, sentience and consciousness and
Okay.
a will to avoid pain or stuff like
The
that.
problem with that, of course, is that we don't even know. Like, we can't even prove consciousness outside of the first person subjective experience.
Solipsism.
No, that's not solipsism. That's a different thing. Brain and a vat. Yeah. That's
No,
the hard
isn't solipsism-
hard problem of consciousness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Brain and a vat is a solipsism thing. But what I'm saying is that, so for example, now I know I'm conscious because I am speaking in the first person. But can I put my consciousness under a microscope? I can't.
No,
Right?
no, yeah.
So on a third person level, on a scientific level, there's no conscious. I can't.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally
so for that
agree.
reason, if you want to use that as a principle, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, but why do you think I'm like always scientist? I can like shuffle into philosophy, can't
No
I?
problem, you can. But what I'm saying is, what philosophical principle are you going to be using to establish what has sentience and
Just an
consciousness? and what doesn't?
arbitrary injection of this idea that anything that causes suffering on sentient beings is what we define as the
What I mean
moral
is,
good.
how do you know what has sentience?
We just sort of, well, we can intuit it by observing the behaviours of the creatures.
You can
that
only
we deem-
intuit your own. You can only intuit your own
Well,
experiences.
no, I know a squirrel is definitely different to a chair.
How do you know that?
Because a squirrel runs around and doesn't want to get kicked, whereas a chair doesn't
No.
give a shit.
But what I'm saying is, how do you prove it? How do you go about
I don't
proving
prove it because I'm not a scientist. I'm being philosophical
Right.
when I'm saying,
No, but-
look, if we all just gather together on these like coherent
Yeah.
moral values, let's not murder animals, let's try and not make
No, but what-
suffering,
I'm trying
let's
to
have
under-
virtues.
What I'm
then
saying to you
we
is
can
that
go quite far.
I get it. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you've rejected human exceptionalism, which is the idea that
Somewhat.
humans
Somewhat.
are different from other life forms, because you have a series of premises and series of principles that you have to ascertain what has value and what doesn't, right?
Well, actually, I think my non-human essentialism, or whatever you said it was,
Yeah.
exceptionalism,
Yeah.
comes from actually just evolution. It's so clear we're part of a tree of life. There's no point in distinguishing.
What's that got to do with anything?
Because like me and a dolphin were quite close.
No, but what's that got to do with what we're talking about? No, just focus on.
Because if a dolphin is very similar to me in I think it might be the sun. If the dolphin is very similar to me in very characteristics such as like playfulness and other traits such as that, yeah, we can say, oh, interesting, we are like that. And then if we look at another elephant and they start mourning the dead, you think, oh, I'm a bit like that. So I'm probably not that exceptional.
So have you heard
Maybe
of-
I've got a big brain.
Have you heard
but I'm
the-
probably quite similar to these.
Have you heard of the naturalistic fallacy?
Yeah, is that, well, maybe. Is that what's natural is right? Is that,
Yeah, kind of, right? So it's just or is, right? So or is ought. David Hume
Yeah, I
talked
don't-
about it.
yeah.
Just because something is a certain way doesn't mean it ought to be that way.
and also you can't get from what is to what ought
Yeah.
to be.
The point I'm making is that obviously here, if you're saying that these animals are similar to us in X way, that's how it is, how that animal is. But how do you jump from is to ought? The point is that now we're moving into the domain of moral prescription. Do you see the point?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
because in the philosophical pursuit of like what is right and what is moral, we have like collectively come to a thing of like suffering might be an interesting thing. So then they go, oh, what, suffering of a human or suffering of a monkey? And you go, well, they're quite similar, so maybe we should just extend it and say, oh, let's not cause suffering to all the sentient beings. And we sort of
But
elevate and enlighten
There's
ourselves.
two or three issues here, right?
Okay.
Number one is that we can't establish sentience or consciousness for anything other than ourselves.
Only in like hard.
No. When I
lines.
say ourselves, let me be very clear. I'm talking about consciousness as the first person subjective
I could
experience.
jump you here and get you something pretty good there. If you actually believe that,
Yeah.
which you probably do, then can't you just justify beating anyone up or doing anything to
No,
anyone?
I told you I believe in human exceptionalism.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to. You're going to pull out of that and say, "Oh, you've got a God that just grants you whatever you want."
No, I got two things from my perspective as a Muslim, right, or atheist. There's two things. We believe that we have something called a fitrah.
Don't know what that is.
So fitrah is an intuition. Like you mentioned the word itself, right?
Yeah.
So this intuition, it allows you to intuit certain things.
Yeah.
So certain things might appear to us as morally acceptable or not because there is a strong sense of that God has implanted within us. And so some things, for example, cleanliness.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that maybe we haven't thought about. Like, human beings prefer cleanliness over dirt.
Yeah, I've heard you say.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
you say.
and the reason that is, we say, is because God has put that in us. That in the same way as we say.
I just really dislike God.
No problem is, if we're going back to the is ought fallacy thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just because that's how it is, it ought to be that way. It ought to be that way because God has prescribed it. And God prescribes all those things that are good.
I'm not sure we are on the or is spectrum here, because I think you're trying to say like that I'm trying to say that there ought to be a morality like this. I don't think I'm coming at it from that.
Well, no, but you did say that.
No, I thought I'm just.
You said, why are you eating cows and so on?
Yeah, because I'm trying to put it in like into our scope, into our psychological scope. How we conduct ourselves.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm not trying to say the universe is demanding us to not kill cows.
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's worse to kill, a cow or an ant?
It's a bit of a lame question, but probably a cow.
Why?
Well, it seems like we're preserving more consciousness. We're not making such suffering and eliminating consciousness.
How?
So much with the cow, because the cow looks like it has lots of it, where the ant looks like it has a little.
So it's all aesthetics.
Well, it is, in a way. But I could just keep elaborating that such thing that you call aesthetics to make it actually a really detailed.
Let's think about this for a second. You got a cow and you have an ant.
Yes.
Both are living creatures.
Yes.
So both fulfill the criteria of biology, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
They're both in biology, right?
Yeah.
Because the biology is the study of living things. All right, so you got a cow and an ant. What makes killing a cow any different from if I'm walking now and I step on some ants?
Well,
as I do when I step on my intellectual opponents. I'm not joking. I'm only kidding. Sorry.
That's fine. Well, I suppose if you want to go like hard science, biological thing, yeah, there is probably no difference between a cow, because we might as well just start all saying atoms and chemicals and all this stuff.
Chemistry is
completely get rid of our philosophical, psychological input in the reality. That's incredibly important.
I would demarcate.
I'm talking about morality and such and such. It's because we care, and it's to me, what do I think's worse? Stepping on an ant or killing a cow? And to me, based on my things, killing a cow is worse because you are taking away consciousness and the ability for pleasure and such.
We have as much
proof.
Here's the point: we have as much proof that a cow has consciousness that we do that an ant does.
Yeah, well, you're looking for proof of it. Is it not just obvious?
No.
You don't think it's obvious?
No.
Do you think
for me it's as obvious.
Yeah.
No, not a rock. It's as obvious for me that a cow has consciousness that an ant does.
So you think it's wrong to kill an ant?
No, I say it's not wrong to kill an ant. We shouldn't do it just like haphazardly, according to me. According to the religion I follow. Yeah, exactly. We shouldn't be killing them haphazardly either.
So we shouldn't kill them for our lunch?
No, we should. That's not haphazard. That's the purpose. There's a teleos. There's a purpose instilled in that.
Okay, let's say I make up purposes. I want to step on the ant because I want to...
That's the thing. You have a problem. It's called
you could do anything because if you have a purpose.
Morally, but it has to be an objective. It has to be an objective purpose.
Okay, yeah. I like sometimes going mad and beating people up. Is that allowed?
No.
It expels my anger. Okay. Am I allowed to do that?
Jamie.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
No worries.
The issue of morality is as follows, right? You have something called the grounding problem.
Righto.
The grounding problem is that basically what do you ground your morality on? On us Muslims, we ground our morality on God. We say that God is the creator of all things. He's all knowledgeable, he's all wise. He knows all things about everything that is created.
The way I'm trying to ground mine is sort of just like trying to experience what empathy is and trying to like build a coherent framework of morality that I can guide my life.
Let me put it this way, right?
Yeah.
So, proposition.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's correct, but I'll explain, right?
You just think it's not correct?
Yes, it's not correct. It's not. It doesn't ground anything, right?
It's not meant to. It's meant to like consolidate.
But you said the way I ground it.
It's meant to consolidate my existence.
Let me put it this way, right? Killing someone is wrong is a proposition.
Can you do something? Go on, tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm telling you now.
Go on then.
But murder is wrong, yeah?
Sure.
It's a proposition, okay?
Sure.
Now, the truth of the matter is there are exceptions to that proposition.
Always.
And I want to say something. Muslims get this confused sometimes. There's a difference between absolute morality and objective morality. We believe in an objective morality, but we don't believe in an absolute morality. In other words, there are some situations in which murder can be justified.
Righto.
It's not killing of somebody. For example, if it's in war or something like that, right?
Sure.
Or if they've killed somebody and to save one's life, whatever it may be. Now,
or if you're hungry.
So I'm clear. I'm not saying that morality is absolute. So in other words, it doesn't change.
I understand where you are.
So it's objective in the sense that it has anchorage. Okay. Now I'll tell you what I mean. Right. if everybody on this earth, 7 billion odd people, were not on this earth.
I know, yeah.
Okay. The proposition that murder is wrong, would it be any different to if anyone was here?
In your worldview, no, because you're trying to anchor...
No, I'm talking about in your worldview.
In my worldview, what you're saying, yes, I think it would actually still be, yeah.
Okay, good. So now that's very important, yeah? Because why? Because now you've attached morality to human opinion.
I thought you was asking me... Ask the question again, because I answered it...
So we said, if we remove all the human beings
Yeah.
on the face of the earth, from the earth, would murder, the proposition, murder is wrong, be generally correct?
Time.
In a form of morality, yes.
How?
How? Because as we currently define morality, we're interested in the consciousness and the suffering of beings. This principle will hold true in like a mathematical world based on whatever creatures fill it. Even if lions are ripping the heads off each other.
No creatures are on the face of the earth.
No creatures at all. Well, if there is a universe, even if there is a universe without, it's just so fundamental to the like mathematics of the universe that if creatures evolve, if beings are there and they're just taking away consciousness from each other, we would say because we deem that as what is moral, that is...
Who's we? There's no human being.
Yeah, I know, but we are here, aren't we, saying
No. What I'm saying is that there's no human being on the earth, no creature, nothing.
I know what you're saying.
There's no one in the universe. It's a vacuum or whatever.
There
the
would be
proposition
nothing.
murder is wrong. Is it meaningful or is it meaningless?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I'm not difficult by the... I think it's just a very bizarre thought experiment to try and get my head into. Because you're asking me not to talk from here, you're asking me to talk from there. But I'm not allowed to go there because I can't exist there. So how do I do it?
No, you can do it. You can say it's called a hypothetical, right?
I'd say because this is a clear thing of, like where you think it's like encoded into the universe, or it comes from somewhere, it's imposed somewhere, and you think I'm trying to derive it from stuff. So you're saying if I get rid of the things that make it come into being, then is it still there? And so I suppose no, if there's nothing there to derive it. But as I previously said, I think it actually is quite a mathematical principle of these things that are eating each other.
But maths and morality are two different
But I mean,
areas.
just like the way that the networks interact.
Right, so can you see what I'm saying here? Look,
Yeah,
the grounding.
of course, but I
the
don't
grounding
even get
problem-
it.
Okay, what I'm saying is look, you have
Because all you're doing is you're trying to say, I want my God to ground me.
No, in fact, that's not what I've said. Look, if you look at any book on morality, for instance, Ethics by J. Mackey, okay,
Right.
which is I think is probably the most one of the best books to get on the topic, right? You'll find that even Mackey comes to this conclusion. John Mackey, he comes to the conclusion that at the end of the day, if we don't have anything to ground it, then it doesn't exist. It's called the grounding problem.
Yeah, I know of it. I wouldn't call it. I've never heard it being called that.
So what I'm
but
saying
I know
is
of it very well. I know
the
idea
reason
of
how we
trying to
justify. From my
I think it's a
perspective,
very lame way of justifying.
we justify human exceptionalism in so much as we say that everything in the universe has been created for human beings.
If this is going to ruin the conversation, but if we bring aliens in, and they're like much smarter than us and whatever, are they now more exceptional than us?
No,
Are we exceptional even though they might have attributes that are much better than us in every way?
aliens.
Yeah. They come down in a spaceship.
It's a good question. I
Thank
don't
you.
know that. I don't know the answer. I have to think about that.
Yeah.
But in terms of our existence on this planet, I can tell you categorically that we believe that we are exceptional.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So in the sense that, like, if I get a chicken right now,
I think it's actually scientifically.
no.
disprovable,
Science has got nothing to do with this, right?
Bloody well does. But yeah.
How?
Evolution, mate.
No, but like I said, you can't get from an is to an ought.
No, you can't. But you can say like it looks like there's creatures that are incredibly similar in all many manner of ways. So what would you finally say? Oh, there's our gold stamp of authenticity.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Science does not deal with why questions. It doesn't. It just doesn't deal with it.
Yeah, but we can observe behaviours in creatures
Yeah, no
that are
problem.
similar to our behaviours,
But it doesn't
and
deal
draw
with-
inferences to say we are similar, and therefore probably not exceptional, apart from in the ways that we are clever and such.
How do you prove the proposition that similar things should be treated the same? That's basically the proposition. That's basically it.
Because that seems like it would be like one of the tenets, wouldn't it?
Why?
That's like, well, that's like mathematical formula. Similar things should be treated similar.
What mathematical formula
So
is that?
if you add 1 to 4, you get 5.
No.
But then you add a 2.
No.
Just answer the question because I didn't.
No. The proposition was similar things should be or ought to be treated the same.
Yeah, and
How do you prove that?
and I bring in mathematical theory that says if 1 and 1 are similar, then we treat them the same in the mathematical
All right, so
concept.
1 plus 1 equals 2, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, now
so then we
let
can't
me...
do the sum again and go
one
1 plus 1 equals 3 now, because we're treating 1 differently.
1 plus 1 equals 2 is a tautology. Have you heard of what a tautology is?
A little bit, but I'm too ignorant. I haven't got the
All
name.
right,
Go
a
on, tell me.
tautology is when I repeat the same thing twice. If I say
Sure.
it's raining now, it's pouring, or it's raining, whatever. Right? It's raining, it's pouring. I don't know, it's raining.
The old man is snoring.
Whatever, like if it's raining, it's raining. I can say the same thing twice, literally the same thing.
Yeah.
1 plus 1 is another way of expressing 2.
Yeah.
So it's basically like saying 1 plus 1 is the equivalent of 2. It's translating.
I brought in 2 plus 1
All of
should be
my-
3,
all-
but if we
what I'm
treat
saying
1
is-
differently, next time we add it to 2
1
and
plus-
say, we can now make 4. No, the principle is similar things should be treated
No,
similarly.
I understand, but let me explain this to you, okay? A tautology in propositional logic is just T. That's how it's signified, or symbolized. All it's saying is X equals X. It's basically like saying 4 equals 4. If you say 2 plus 2 equals 4, it's the same as saying 4 equals 4.
Sure.
There's no difference.
Sure.
The only difference is
Remember,
expressive.
We're trying to, because that's the way I prove to treat similar things similar.
No, but we're not treating similar things similar with this. What I'm saying in maths, what we're doing is we're just saying the same thing twice in different language.
So we're saying treating the exactly the same.
No, it's not. They're not similar. They're the same. 2 plus 2 is the same as 4.
Yeah, so we're saying...
That's why you have an equal sign.
Yeah.
But your proposition is that similar things should be treated the same.
Yeah, no, so of course, so there is ambiguity in the word similar, isn't there now?
Similar means that when you say something is similar, it's not saying it's the same.
No, it's different.
So something
otherwise you would
I'm
call
similar to you in many ways, but I'm different to you in many other ways.
Yeah.
Like, for example, similar in the fact
So
that we're
we
both
can-
human beings, but different in good looks. Because I've got some high I only joke.
But let's do something now.
You know
Let's
what I'm
say,
talking about?
I do.
No,
You're
I'm
very
joking.
handsome.
No, I'm joking.
Let's do with something...
How do you know I was talking about myself? Because we talk about you.
Let's say we take a brain and we say, okay, look, we'll look at one of its attributes to be like reasoning power.
Yes.
And we go, let's say we keep incrementing its similarity to its next up in the cycle, and it gets smarter and smarter. When are you going to say, okay, now it's so similar, we have to start treating it differently? There's going to be a smooth continuum of ways that we treat this thing.
Okay. Math is a language. All it does is describe things. Okay. You know all these like trigonometry and Pythagoras. All of it is always trying to do is just describe.
That's what I brought in. We're trying to describe how we are similar and not exceptional.
Here's
because
what you
we
need
are similar to other animals.
First of all, you need to realize the difference between description and prescription.
Sure.
Do you see this? It's very important.
Of course.
So description is when you say, I look like XYZ.
Yeah.
Prescription is when you use the word ought, should, could, all that
I
stuff.
understand.
When you say should, ought, and that stuff, now you're becoming morally prescriptive. What I'm saying is that you can't get from description to prescription unless you have a mechanism.
Guillotine. Is it guillotine or someone's guillotine?
Yeah, but you can't get from is to an ought without a mechanism. Now what I'm saying is, what is your mechanism?
Well, like I say, so the famous example is like, it's raining outside, you should take an umbrella. There is that jump there that someone has said, why take the umbrella? So my thing was that we have an empathetic drive to be moral in the sense that...
correct, this is time out. Because we're talking about Palestine, right? And you called him a bully. Now you're just...
No, I laugh when,
No, but
I laugh when he said
let
we
him
should...
talk about it. It's fine,
I
it's fine,
laugh,
it's
I
fine.
laugh when he said we shouldn't bully.
I know, but let's just finish. I know. We'll come back to it. Okay, but let's finish
It is
this.
serious. It is serious.
But let me finish. I know. Okay.
I'm dead.
Let's finish this. Let me finish this discussion, and then we'll talk about what we want. I know. Okay, Akhi. Let me just. It's
People
important.
like that need to get exposed. You're talking about, getting people together, talking about what's going on wrong in the world.
There is serious
He's
issue.
coming out laughing over here and saying you're a bully.
Okay, but
No.
Serious
People
issues.
are
There is-
dying. People at this
There are
stage,
serious
people are
issues.
dying.
he's now running away from
No,
the.
'cause at the end of the day,
You've
everyone's
given him
here.
a get out of jail free card,
No,
Rahim.
brother, no, so it's my fault.
I always
'cause
use
it's
that, by the way.
getting boring.
Average.
Huh?
The
All right, give me 5 minutes. Let me finish.
it, bro.
Let me finish.
You've done it,
please.
mate. You've done it. The crowd
No.
said you've done it.
Let me
You've done
finish.
it.
Give me 5
No,
minutes. Just
Palestine,
5 minutes.
Israel.
Akhi.
You're a funny guy.
No,
Thank you very
give us
much.
5
faces, you know that.
5 minutes.
faces.
5 minutes.
Two
Akhi.
faces.
I'm serious.
Man,
Palestine
so why
is an
you
issue.
call him a bully?
All right, listen.
I didn't call him a bully. I laughed when he said don't bully people.
Be a man. Just be a man.
Right there.
We'll come to this, yeah? I know he calls me behind my back.
Be a man said why he called him a bully.
I didn't call him a bully. I laughed when he said don't bully people.
So he was speaking for Palestine. and I said,
Akhi, give me 5
No,
minutes. 3
no, I'm
minutes.
talking
3
in
minutes.
character.
3 minutes, please.
I think we should stand up for
I
stuff
know.
like serious
Just
stuff.
give me
in
3
the world.
minutes.
There is a serious
Actually, look.
issue in the world.
Yeah, there is, but let's just
Well,
finish
many.
this discussion.
Sure.
I should. It's raining outside. I should take a.
Righto.
Yeah. This is called a hypothetical imperative. Okay.
Righto.
Even
Yeah.
Kant talked about it.
Kant's
Manuel Kant. There's a difference between a hypothetical imperative and a categorical imperative. Now the thing is, with hypothetical imperatives like this, yeah, the point of it is, it's meant as a way of improving someone's, for example, productivity in a certain field. So, for example, that's different from making a moral value judgment. So if I say, like, I want to be bald, I'll shave my hair, I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying that this is the way that this thing can be solved, or this thing can be dealt with.
Yeah, I think there is a sneaking.
Do you see the point?
No, I don't know. I disagree with that. I think when you shave your head, there is some value judgment going into that.
No, I'm not saying there's no value judgment. I'm saying it's not a moral prescription. When you say it's raining outside, you need to take an umbrella, it means to say that if you don't take an umbrella, you're going to get wet. But it doesn't mean to say that if you don't take an umbrella, you're acting immorally.
No, but
do you see the point?
When we talk about the word morality, we're trying to identify the suffering cause, and so a little bit.
Okay, right. So hypothetical imperatives, by I think consensus of the ethicists, is not a moral value judgment in the same sense as, for example, a categorical imperative is.
I don't think I'm there with it. I don't think I'm there. I don't think I believe.
Okay, once again, if I say it's if I go out, it's raining, I'm taking an umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah. That is a hypothetical imperative. If I don't do X, Y will happen.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't mean that it's to say that if you don't put an umbrella on, you're doing something immoral.
Okay.
Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying, therefore, is that what we have to realize, to get from description to prescription, you need a mechanism. Unfortunately, you don't have one.
Yeah, I bloody well do. I just explained it many times.
No, you said you claim to have one, and we talked about what your mechanism is, but the mechanism wasn't proving anything.
It bloody well was. I said my empathy to look at other creatures and my will to be moral culminates in a framework that dictates decisions such as don't murder animals for dinner.
I understand. You're saying empathy.
It's grounded in me and my rationality to the world. And
yes,
empathy. Yes.
Okay, so now it's empathy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So
a
psychopath can do what he wants.
Not really.
He doesn't have any empathy.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't really fall within our remit, does he?
Why is it your empathy is different from a psychopath's empathy?
Because it's like you're asking someone doesn't want to be moral. Do they have to be moral? It seems like
so. Why is your empathetic reasoning any more or less valuable than a psychopath's?
I'm not really valuing it. I'm just saying, if we want to be a moral society, we need a moral framework. This moral framework is consistent with both our nature and our reason.
No problem. But how do you prove it?
I don't need to prove it. I don't need to prove it. I just say, look,
so next
you have these characteristics. We can run the simulation, and you will follow coherently.
So what I'm saying to you now is very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
You came and you said that eating a cow is not right. Yeah. We talked about. Let's just summarize. We talked about you can't really differentiate between a cow and an ant. Number one. Yeah. You can't.
I did. I said one of them looks like they have a hell of a lot of consciousness. The other one doesn't.
So that's just an aesthetic value judgment, but there's no way of proving it.
I addressed that by saying I think we can actually do a very detailed study of aestheticism and
glean
a lot about the world.
The hard problem of consciousness means that consciousness is not a third-person endeavor.
I understand that, but it doesn't mean we just fall over straight away whenever we deal with any sort of
It means that consciousness is not something that's tappable by the scientific method. There's no study that you can do that can assess what has consciousness and what doesn't. You're saying it looks like that, but you haven't proven it.
I agree.
All right, fine. So for me, an elephant and an ant are the same in terms of.
That's stupid, isn't it? If you think that's stupid.
I'm saying they are the same on your worldview. Because if you're saying that biology is the only thing.
I'm not saying they're the same in my worldview.
Well, you've said that the things that differentiate things which are valuable from things which are valueless is consciousness and sentience. I'm saying that. Okay, fine. How do you know that an elephant doesn't have consciousness and an ant does? Or vice versa? Behavior. All right. What I'm saying is an inference, but it's not something you can prove because it's first person. Fine. So from that perspective, you have a problem. Second problem is you start talking about utility and so on, and you're talking about the pain and all that stuff. I'm saying to you now, what you've moved from is description to prescription. Description, i.e., 1, 2, 3, equals 1 plus 2. Yeah, it's the same thing. So in that case, it's a tautology. You can't get a prescription from a description. It's a tautology, and it's the naturalistic fallacy is ought fallacy, as they call it as well. So therefore, you failed on that point as well. Now, so the point is, you can't really ground your morality on anything. What I'm saying to you is, how we ground it is we ground it on two things primarily. We ground it on intuition, which can be tapped. Okay, and there have been studies on it, and I've mentioned this before, like Justin Barrett, etc., the Oxford Anthropological Society in 2011, and how the conclusion was that children, they've done a study of 50,000 kids or something like that, have an innate reactivity to believing in God. Yeah. So that's something which is a feeling, and we could ask people around the world what you think about marriage.
Are a little bit dodgy.
It's a problem. But what I'm saying is, if that was alone, we couldn't do anything with it. You still have a problem. To solve that now, we have the actual injunctions from God, which we believe is, and that's the only way to solve the grounding problem.
Yeah, but maybe we don't need to ground our shit. Maybe we can just make a cohesive bubble, a coherent bubble of moral framework.
See, you say that, and you say that as a matter of value judgment. But,
So
the irony is this.
Off of the ground, I'm saying, look, we can all together coherently make our moral systems. That's what I said. Everyone can speak what they think is moral.
What you're saying...
You're digging in the ground.
No. What you're saying is it's like you're building a castle on thin air. Yeah, because you haven't got you haven't even got grounding for that statement that you made.
Of course, it's all contained within the bubble.
So what you are saying is meaningless.
No, sir. Because you can coherently follow it and such.
No. Coherentism is not the only thing that... There's a difference between correspondence theory and coherentism.
Okay.
So, for example, if I say one day a unicorn went... let's use a Burak. Burak went up to the sky and came back. It's coherent.
Okay.
But can I prove that? No, it has to be faith, right? Which is what we do believe in that. Let's say, for example, if coherentism is something which you can't use to prove anything. Just because if you say that... if you say, Bertrand Russell had a teacup round, I don't know, the moon or whatever, yeah?
But that's something else.
It is coherent, but it's not the same as saying something is true.
No, but you know that if you have premises and you follow from them...
What's truth?
What's truth?
What is truth?
Hang on. You know, if we have premises and we follow from them and we keep coherent and logical rules, we can assume that the bottom is true eventually.
Not always, because there's a difference between a valid syllogism and a sound one. Do you know what the difference is?
No.
All right, so if I say all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal, that's valid and sound because there was a man called Socrates and it's true.
Okay.
But if one of the premises is not actually in line with what's happening in reality, then it's valid but it's not sound. So for example, if I say... For example, if I say that the golden kangaroo is part of the animal kingdom and the golden kangaroo is mortal, therefore the golden... Whatever. Yeah. The golden kangaroo is a figment of my imagination. It's coherent what I'm saying. Actually, the syllogism is valid, but it's not sound.
But I think all you're showing there is the limits of like...
No, what I'm saying is me talking about a golden kangaroo or the flying spaghetti monster or Bertrand Russell's tea cup, whatever it is as good as you talking about morality.
No, I disagree. Because I think my injection of the premises comes to stuff that we would all agree on, such as... we care about the suffering of creatures.
All right, so if everybody agreed that there was a flying spaghetti monster, and it's interesting that I'm using that against the atheists, usually the atheists brings us flying spaghetti monster. But if we all agree that there's a flying spaghetti monster, does that mean that there's a flying spaghetti monster?
It's not to do with that.
No, what I'm saying, that's the point. You just said if we all agree. Now, if we all agree that there's a kangaroo that's golden, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a kangaroo that's golden, right?
I'm saying in a practical sense, when we are trying to apply practical philosophy, we can try to inject some premises that we can just take as true and run it through our inferences and try to get a coherent structure that we can say, because we have these, we should follow this. And if someone goes, no, look, you're doing this, which is against this.
What I'm saying is that the problem is a jump from description to prescription. There's no way of you getting from description to prescription, and that's why I understand
that. I understand that.
You agree with that, right?
Yeah, of course. That's the guillotine, isn't it?
That's all it is. So what I'm saying, anyways, bro.
Yeah, go on. Take about Israel, Palestine. Honestly, it's a serious issue.
Yeah, of course.
That shit needs to get sorted out.
But let me conclude some remarks and just
go for it.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, what we've seen today is that the grounding problem in morality is something which is irresolvable for atheists and materialists.
No, what you've seen today is a brilliant display of veganism at one level and philosophical depth at the other.
Okay, that's fine. So
cheers. See you later,
that's what I'm saying.
Good one.
Thank you. This is why you find people who are in the academy, like Peter Singer, recently talking about this deformed babies. Deformed babies can be killed or something like this, or it's as moral for a deformed baby as it is for an animal. I can't remember, I don't want to paraphrase him, but it's definitely in the works. The point I'm saying to you is this: if you don't have morality to ground what you believe in, you are not going to solve the grounding problem. You have no anchorage. And that is why we believe in human exceptionalism, that humans, there's something inherently different and moral about human beings, that we have certain features that all other creatures don't have, and therefore the world has been made, in a sense, for us, subservient to us. And the Quran mentions that, in fact, وَالَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ. He has made the earth subservient for you, so walk around its mountains and eat from its provisions. So at the end of the day, what we say is that, in a nutshell, therefore, Muslims have good reason to ground their morality, theists the same, and atheists don't. And I think what you saw there was an attempt of somebody to try and ground their morality, which was, I think, even in his own admission, was a failure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's go to the next.